Welcome back to Inside the 12, and it is time to welcome our esteemed guest. He's going to be on the call this weekend for TCU at number 23, Houston. Game's going to be 4 Eastern time on Fox. Former Michigan quarterback and Fox Sports college football analyst Devin Gardner joining us. Devin, man, what's up? That's a good setup that you got there. Looking good.
Yeah, I built it myself. I bought the things. I drilled the holes. A lot of man hours building this background.
On and off the field, a crafty individual. I want to get into some of this Big 12 stuff with you, particularly Texas Tech. College football playoffs rankings are out. Texas Tech at 5. What does BYU or Utah have to do to create a real good argument to be in the top 10, ultimately to earn a bid to the college football playoff?
I think BYU has to just continue playing really good football, and it starts with the quarterback, Bear Brockmeyer. I've been really impressed with him, and he's had spells throughout the season where, he kind of looks like a freshman, but it's not as been excessive, in my opinion. And this last game, I actually just talked to the TCU coaching staff. They said he was otherworldly, like on another level, not like just the stats and what you saw on film. It's like they said they couldn't deal with him. It was almost like LeBron Game 6. And if he can continue to play like that, that's their path. For Utah, they play good defense. They run the football. What will they get from Devin Dampier, who I really like a lot, but I think he has to take another step as a pure passer. Or can he throw them into wins? That's the question I think the committee will be asking. But Bear Bachmeier, if he continues to play like that, I think BYU has a very clear path.
Of course you bring up Bear Bachmeier. The last electric quarterback I remember to wear 2 digits was the guy I'm talking to.
This guy with this number, it's so weird. Who wears this kind of number playing quarterback? I don't get it. It's weird.
Only the great ones, Devin. All right, the Big 12 championship. Which team do you think has the greatest threat to, let's say, maybe upset or beat Texas Tech?
Oh, it's got to be BYU. They played, quite frankly, their worst game of the season from top to bottom when they played against Texas Tech. And was that because Texas Tech is so good? I think part of it was, but I think they can play better. And then the most difficult thing to do is beat a team twice and to beat a good team twice. So Texas Tech, obviously, outstanding in every way. However, they will have a really big test if it's BYU that they have to see again in the Big 12 championship.
You've seen Texas Tech this year. What stood out to you as unique about this team? Because they do feel like now they're just punching into a different weight class.
Oh, yeah, they're exactly who you think they are, unless you don't have a brain, because you think they're the old Texas Tech. They are not that. They play great defense, and especially up front. Romello Height and David Bailey, their get off. Sometimes I sit and I'm calling the game and I get distracted because I just want to see how fast they get off the ball. I mean, it's like getting shot out of a rocket, and their ability to stop the run. Obviously, not Malcolm Rodriguez, Jacob Rodriguez. They are top to bottom a very, very complete team. The only thing that really scares me about Texas Tech is the health of the quarterback. If the quarterback is healthy, they have a direct path to the championship. They know how they want to play. They know exactly who they are. They can throw the ball like they always have, but they can also run the football. Their offensive line is intact. The only thing that scares me is, can the quarterback stay healthy? Guess what? He got healthy last week. He was out before the second half, and he also has a bye week. I think he's going to be healthy, and they'll have a real shot.
Back to that Texas Tech defense. The eye of the storm is Jacob Rodriguez, like you mentioned. Joey McGuire and a lot of folks now nationally pushing for him to be a Heisman candidate and be there at that ceremony, yourself included, in New York. I think you answered the question. Do you think he should be there in New York for that ceremony?
Absolutely. His story is incredible, and a lot of times it's not just about stats. It's about who you are and what you mean in college football. He's the perfect story. He came into college football as a quarterback, and you don't see the switch from quarterback to linebacker very often, and he's done it seamlessly. Ended up at Texas Tech, and he's been a catalyst for what they've been able to become. His ability to be a leader on the defensive side of the ball, and not only just on the defensive side of the ball, as a teammate. And then you get to the other stuff. Leading the country in forced fumbles, all around the ball. In the game, he had a few Heisman moments in the game I just had where he scores the touchdown and then the interception. Right when I'm talking about how great his instincts are, he baits the quarterback and throwing a screen right into his hands. And then it's not an easy catch. It's an amazing catch and, 9 tackles to boot. I just think that what he's been able to do and what Texas Tech has become, which is one of the best teams in all of college football, I think it will be criminal if he's not invited there.
And his wife flies Black Hawk helicopters for the U.S. Army.
What more do you want?
You can't write.
What more do you want?
All right, let's get to your game this weekend. Houston and TCU. Houston's dream season, really. It's been better than anybody could have expected. How has Willie Fritz turned this program around in just 2 seasons?
Listen, I'm essentially going to foreshadow what my open is going to be for the game. Nobody expected anything from Houston. But when you have a quarterback, you have a chance, period. That's where it stops. And this quarterback, Connor Wegman, who I coached at the Elite 11, never saw him being the rusher that he's become. He is one of 5 players in all of college football to have at least 2,100 passing yards, at least 400 rushing yards, to go along with at least 27 touchdowns. That's rare air, right? There's only 5 guys in all college football that's doing it, and he's able to do it. And it's so weird because he's not this big, giant guy. However, he's remained healthy. And when you get to the end of seasons in college football and even NFL football, the more healthy teams are the ones that perform well. And so it starts with the quarterback. Obviously, there are other pieces and different things like that, and Willie Fritz is doing a great job. But you start here. If you have a quarterback, you have a chance, and they've got one. What
about him as a quarterback has allowed him to figure out running the football and becoming a dual threat? I mean, you played quarterback, you could run the football. What is that part of the maturation process, or was it something he worked to do, you think?
So when he was at the Elite 11, he could throw. Obviously, he wouldn't be there if he couldn't. But the one thing I was super impressed was his attitude, his competitive fire, his competitive juice. And sometimes that's all you need to be an adequate runner. For me, I don't think he's able to go line up at wide receiver and be super dynamic, right? I don't think he's that type of athlete. But however, when you have an attitude that I'm going to get it done, right, it's hard to stop you. And when I was talking to the TCU coaching staff, they said that he's very similar to Max Duggan, where Max Duggan, I mean, he's a good athlete. He's not the greatest athlete in the world, but it's his attitude and his willingness and his desire, his determination to get it done, no matter how you got to get it done. And I think that's a lot of what Connor Wegman has.
Last question for you. You mentioned talking to the TCU coaches. How do they get things back on track this week?
Yeah. I think that they have to get back to the way they play football. They've been riddled with injuries, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. And I think it's really affected the entire team, right? Because their quarterback, Josh Hoover, can make all the throws. He's even added the dimension of running the football this year. But without number 2, Kavorian Barnes, they have really started to try to find a way to replace that production. And for Josh Hoover, it forces him to start to press, right? And do more than what he's asked to do, which sometimes gets you in trouble when you're the quarterback. So the idea for them is to get back to everybody just do their job, and specifically Josh Hoover. You can't do it all for everybody. You do your job, and you have to trust that everybody else is going to do it, and they have to make up the slack.
Devin Gardner, you have always been able to do your job awfully well on the field and in the broadcast booth, and now sharing time with us. Really appreciate you, man, just sharing some of your thoughts about the Big 12 with us, and have a great call.
I appreciate you, man, and I can't wait to see you on the call.
All right, take care. That was Devin Gardner. When we come back, our look at the Week 13 schedule continues. Committee, when we look at these rankings.